Like so many of you out there, I love Twitter. I use it on a daily basis to get news, talk to other entrepreneurs, engage in discussions about web apps, and chat with friends and family. And I found an app that helps you manage and track who follows and unfollows you on Twitter. So basically, it does a whole ton of statistics about your Twitter account. The app is called SocialGrapple, and you can reach it at socialgrapple.com. There are free accounts and paid accounts, and so you can log in and choose whatever you would like to use. The more you pay, the more stats and analytics you get about your account. This is what the dashboard looks like when you log in, and right now I've added 2 Twitter accounts to it to start tracking analytics about those. The first one is my own personal Twitter account, and the second one is for the 7Q project, and that was a week-long hackathon that I was involved in back in November. So to get more stats and analytics about an account, you just click on it, and everything shows up. Now I do have to preface this by saying I have had this account running for about 2 weeks now. It does take a couple of days for it to pick up the data so that it can start analyzing it. So when you sign up for a new account, you're not going to see anything like this. You just have to wait a couple of days and then all of the stats will be automatically downloaded into it. So at the top of this overview, there's a graph, and you can choose to track the number of tweets over time. You can track the number of followers you have, the number of people who are following you. You can track mutual follow relationships, and then you can see the number of people who you are stalking and the number of people who are stalking you. Power from SocialGrapple comes from the more personalized stats and analytics that are displayed down here at the bottom. So we can see here is a list of people who are either following me or who I am following. I'm not sure which data set this list is currently showing me, but you can see here are a list of Twitter usernames, and then we can view some ratios right here. And so this ratio is the number of followers to the number of friends, and then after that there is a list of tags. So the site will tag different accounts based on the number of tweets they do, the number of followers they have, and what types of followers those are, whether they're mutual followers, whether they're stalkers, stalking people, and then it also looks at the number of people who they are following. So this mutual keyword means that both I am following this user and this user is following me. Now there are other stats like new. So new means this person is a brand new Twitter user. Bad ratio means they have a really skewed ratio between the number of people who they are following and the number of people who are following them. So there was a lot of information on that dashboard page for my particular account, and I know that it might seem confusing because there's lots of different numbers and there's lots of different keywords. So if you go and click on the FAQ page, it lays it all out and says, here's what the numbers mean, here's what the keywords mean, and then once you understand what these mean, then you can go back and you can start analyzing the people who you are interacting with on Twitter. This is a dashboard for a SocialGrapple account that is paid. And so now I will show you what the dashboard would look like if you have not paid. So that would be 7Q project down here. So we can see that I still have all of the graphs. So we've got the tweets, the number of followers, the number of following, but things like your mutual followers, your stalkers, or the people who you're stalking, can't see any stats about that. And then if we check down at the bottom, we can't see those personal analytics about each of the individual people who you're interacting with. And so depending on if you want to have that information or not, it might be worthwhile for you to upgrade your account. Let's break down the pros and cons for SocialGrapple. Pro number 1, I really love the fact that I can start analyzing all of the things I'm doing on Twitter over time. Pro number 2, I like the fact that you can have multiple accounts and you can be tracking a whole bunch of different ones. So if you have a corporate account and a personal account, or if you have one for a web app or a side project and you want to be able to track all of those things individually, you can do that. And pro number 3, the pricing plans aren't actually that bad. If you are really interested in getting all of this rich data about Twitter and about how it is being beneficial to you, it's probably worth it for you to invest in a paid plan. As for the cons, as you could sort of see at the beginning of this review, some of the stats and some of the details on the dashboard page are a little bit confusing. So you do have to invest like a little bit of time, 5 to 10 minutes, to go into the FAQ and read what do the keywords mean. You also have to read what the different ratios mean. And so once you understand those, you can get a lot more out of using an app like this. So I do really like this app, and I would recommend it. As I said, I have been using it for about 2 weeks now, and every couple of days I just log in to look at the graphs and see how the graphs have been changing. I don't really go down and use any of that personal information down at the bottom because that's not what I'm interested in. I'm just more so interested in my stats and how they're changing over time. So overall, I would give SocialGrapple.com 4 Twitter details out of 5.